Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again. Welcome to another episode of my Buffalo Bills franchise mode series. In this episode, we begin the 2023-2024 season as we look to yet again find some measure of success. We've made the playoffs a few times now, but anything beyond that hasn't exactly happened yet. And coming off of the last episode, where of course we ended up losing in the playoffs, we went to the draft, and then controversially I made quite a few moves getting rid of some veterans who were on the decline, mainly someone like Davante Adams, who was still useful, but wasn't exactly still in that elite category at that point in time. So we had the option of keeping someone like that and having him be useful, or trading him away, getting back an asset now, and trying to build someone else up. And I'll tell you the main reason why I'm scared, and the big reason, or a primary example of why I was a little bit afraid to keep somebody who had already shown signs of decline at turning age 30, let alone being over the age of 30. Look at where Kelvin Benjamin is. Now, Kelvin Benjamin was never at Davante Adams' level, but look at how sharply he has declined. So yeah, I do feel kind of justified in getting rid of who we got rid of. I feel like that might have been the better way to go, just to, again, bring in some help now, and also look to make sure that that's not a problem in the future. And as it is, you can't exactly say that we're completely screwed. We're an 87 overall team still. The offensive line still quite strong. Michael Dieter's the weak link. We have him at center this year to check it out. But Stemke, Brenton Weeks, Dieter, Bush, and Leckie, that's still a strong setup. Tight end's a little bit weaker than it's normally been, but still Pittman at a 78. We'll see what he can do this year. Normal development, second-year pro. We'll see how that goes. Wide receiver-wise, we still have Kawangio. We drafted London Charles, who I'm very excited about. Intrigued to see what he can do in his rookie year. And then not to mention we have someone like Keaston Savage, who's still a really young player, and we're going to see if he can develop a little bit better this season and turn into that third threat that we need him to be. We have Kareem Hunt still. Hanson Erickson's going to be our starter. We have Deshaun Swinton. It's weird because he's missing a letter. It's Deshaun. I'm calling him Deshaun now. We still have him on this team, and there is the debate that he could take over for Erickson. The bottom line is we have a trade piece with one of the two that we can hold on to for now and make the most of later on. And defensively, we're still extremely solid. I mean, you look to at safety, we still have Micah Hyde, but we have a replacement for Jordan Poyer in Bennett Huval, who's 21 with quick development, so I'm not afraid about that. Our linebacker core is absurd with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Idris Stevenson, and Edmonds as well. Who, again, I can't believe how young Tremaine Edmonds still is. He's only 25. It's crazy how young he is in real life. And in terms of, projects, Harvey and Riley both have good development patterns as well. And then you look at the corners still. Lattimore, Tre'Davious White, and Mike Hilton. The defensive line's a little bit weaker, for sure. Keaho has good development. Clayton Malone's obviously a beast. And we'll see how Worrell can do. He has good development as well. And then Joe Jackson, who hasn't exactly turned into the dominant threat I thought he could be. And special teams-wise, I mean, we have Jake Elliott and Rigoberto Sanchez. We're set up in a very good fashion here, for lack of a better term. Are we as strong on paper as we could have been had I kept someone like Davante Adams? No. But in terms of, again, that completely destroying the team and any potential chance we have at success, I'm going to say that's a bit much. We're still looking okay, but of course, and there you go, any injury could change things on a moment's notice. But on the bright side, which really there is no bright side to losing Tre'Davious White for the first 6 weeks of the season. I know he was out for 7. It'll be 6 once we hit the opening day. The bright side, though, of that is, of course, I mean, hell, in the Davante Adams trade, we get Stevenson, who is a beast. And draft pick-wise, we're looking okay. A couple of third-round picks, a couple of fourth-round picks. We are going to have the ability to move up if necessary. Which, you factor in the players that we have, the assets just in general. We're looking okay. Whether or not this season is another season for us to truly be competitive, to fight for that division title and maybe hope for more come playoff time, we don't know. We'll be finding that out here very shortly as we're going to begin our season in Cincinnati with a 12 overall point advantage on the Bengals. It's a wait-and-see kind of deal. Even when this team was stacked, we still struggled. I mean, hell, when's the last time we beat the New York Jets, for that matter? But I think it really, I think it comes down to the fact that, sure, on paper, and Adams is the one that stands out. He's not the only one we got rid of. We got rid of Eric Ebron as well. There were a couple of guys. Maybe I did go a tad bit overboard, but I still feel like we're in a good spot heading into the season. Like I said, it's a wait-and-see kind of thing. I mean, hell, we've seen 75 overall teams start off seasons 5-0. The sim engine is a mystery. But with how sharply some players can and have declined so far in this series, I don't think I necessarily regret moving on from some players, even if it is a tad bit early and those players still have some use. I would much rather just get out from underneath that contract before they decline and their value ends up being that much less. That said, you've seen the team. We're at halftime here. Our first game against the Bengals. Erickson with a touchdown pass to Trey Cates, the rookie. A 6-yard reception there. It's 10-3 at the half. We'll see if the offense can get going here. And indeed, we do start off with a touchdown. Cincinnati responds. 17-10 heading into the fourth. Keaston Savage with a touchdown as well. So there you go. The third and fourth guys on the depth chart hooking up with Hanson Erickson. And we are looking good. That was a 52-yard field goal for the Buffalo Bills. And I clearly got distracted there. And you know why? It's because they marched downfield in very quick order. 7-yard touchdown pass to Joe Mixon. And it is yet again a 3-point game. And also I wonder how many people are going to be like, oh, he's hooking up with Hanson Erickson. You knew what I meant. Damn it. 23-17, 8.5 to go. Can our defense shut them down? Yes, they can. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with the interception. We are going to need someone like him to step up. Without Ryan Shazier in the middle, again, another one of those guys. There we go, quick touchdown. Another one of those guys who declined. We ended up sending him to Baltimore. We need players to step up. And there you go, a touchdown or a rushing touchdown for Jericho and Kang, following a 34-yard pass completion to Kareem Hunt and a 2-point conversion to Kawangio, 31-17, and that should do it. And will we get a late field goal? 34-17 is your final, and we start off this new season with the victory on the road in Cincinnati. Erickson, 30 of 40, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Very strong start for him. Kareem Hunt, 84 yards rushing, the touchdown for it and Kang. Receiving-wise, Hunt led the way in terms of yardage, but it was Savage with 9 receptions and a touchdown. Cates also had that other touchdown pass. No sacks allowed. Defensively, Micah Hyde led the way in terms of tackles. 2 sacks, Gardner-Johnson and Stevenson, and of course, Chauncey with the interception as well. Elliott was 4 of 5 in terms of field goals as we walk our way to our first victory. A good start, but we have a long way to go, to say the very least. We got Miami in week 2. To have an upgrade already is pretty nice, but to have, my God, Clayton Malone, to have a matchup now against a division rival this early on, a lot of pressure. We need to set the tone early. My God, that was a good bit of upgrading for him too. Clayton Malone has turned into one of the stars of this series. And to get that win, by the way, without Tre'Davious White was huge. We have an 11 overall point advantage on the Dolphins. We host them here in week 2. Fingers crossed that we can get off to another strong start. I'm expecting a big game from Kareem Hunt, but it was very promising to see Gardner-Johnson and Stevenson work as well together as a unit, as the linebacker core, as they did in that first game. And obviously the pressure is there. I mean, there are moves we can make to improve the team. I mean, I think right now our biggest weakness, we could use another game-changing player on the defensive line, but we do have prospects in the role that are continuing to improve. Really having a game-changing tight end to help bolster up this offense would be nice after Eric Ebron's unfortunate decline. But on the bright side, we do have the assets that we can move to make that happen. It's 7-all here. Make it 14 unanswered points. 17 unanswered points for your Bills. We have that 17-7 lead at halftime. A 4-yard rushing touchdown for Kareem Hunt. A 6-yard touchdown pass to London Charles, the first of his career. And a 36-yard field goal for Jake Elliott. We're looking pretty good here. Let's see what we can do moving forward. Let's sim to the fourth quarter. There were a couple of turnovers here, a couple of quick changes of possession. We start off the fourth with the ball, but it is a quick punt. Unfortunately, still a 10-point lead. Miami's field goal is blocked. The 49-yard attempt shut down. Can we capitalize? The answer is yes. 20-7, the 49-yard field goal for Elliott. 7:40 to go. Miami is able to march down the field, though, and get the touchdown. It's now a 6-point game. Let's see if we can wind down the clock. And the answer is yes. So there we go. No controversy, as Fugger is not that happy. What a great name. Unfortunately for Miami, they just could not get the stop at a crucial time. 20-14 is your final score. Again, no controversy. We didn't really have to jump into it or slow down the sim. It was fairly straightforward. We get the victory here in week 2, moving to 2-0 on the season. Erickson, 24 of 35, 259 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, not over 100 yards, but did get a rushing touchdown. Receiving-wise, Charles led the way with 7 receptions. Kawangio led the way in terms of yardage. Charles, of course, with the touchdown. We did allow a couple of sacks this week, so that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Gardner-Johnson, Stevenson, Lattimore, all with strong games. 2 sacks for Stevenson in this game. No picks. Elliott, 2 for 2 for the field goals. And we are 2-0. Not bad. Not bad. Now, I'm still nervous, admittedly. We're doing well. We're getting upgrades early on, too, which is very nice, but we've had strong starts to seasons before and then kind of fallen back down to reality, and had it been a little bit closer than it really needed to be in terms of a playoff push. So, fingers crossed, it's a much more straightforward season. The fact that we are doing as well as we currently are without Tre'Davious White is a pretty good sign as well. We play the Jets here in week 3. Thankfully, it's at home. We actually play Miami the week after. Let's take a look at the other upgrades. Kawangio is going to be potentially going up to an 86. We're going to make him better as a deep threat. And he stays at an 85, but he gets some pretty crucial upgrade points, so I'm good with that. Let's take a look at his ratings here. Deep route's almost up to an 80. Very nice. Very, very nice. Kawangio, of course, was one of the 2. He and Stover, the 2 wide receivers that we really regret missed, or at least that I really regretted missing out on. Oh boy, Stevenson's going to need a deal. This is, wow, that's a steal. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Number 1, I can't believe he's only quick development. That is a steal and a half. That is such a cheap contract. That's not even fair. And in terms of big-time contracts, we really don't have any to negotiate. We just got Stevenson on the biggest steal in the league. That is unreal. What a contract that is for us. As we're going to be scouting out members of the defensive line to begin things here. Will Stanzi? Absolutely not. Reed Martinek. All right, Alan Broughton is at least worth keeping an eye on. Roy Arnold. Oh, shit, wasted points there with Hales. Unfortunately, I didn't expect a C grade to start. Hensley isn't... Ah, shit, I wasted points with Gregory, too. All right, so I wasted a couple of points on Hales and Gregory. That would have been 14 points total, so not the end of the world, but not the best class thus far. Like I'm pretty locked in on wanting B grades across the board. Even Devon Merritt, I'm just not digging it. Kilo Folston looking like he'll be that much better though, so that's nice. as we are good to go. Again, still an 87. No one dealing with confidence yet, unfortunately, but we will continue on here. Third game of the episode. We have a 9 overall point advantage. Again, thankfully, for the sake of keeping up momentum, this game is not on the road. For whatever reason, we just absolutely struggle. You watch, we'll end up playing the Giants on the road this season too. But we tend to struggle at MetLife. Hopefully that's not the case this season. And Devin White, 15 tackles. That is a duel of linebackers. My God. That is one hell of a head-to-head matchup. But the fact that we're already in our third game, I feel like we're making good progress. I think it's just because of the lack of controversy and the lack of competition, we'll say. Just it hasn't been close games to start the season, and hopefully that trend continues. Let's see what happens as we host the Jets. We strike first with the opening 3 points. Marching down the field here, we might be able to add to it. And indeed we do. 10-0. Can we add to it? 13-0. The Jets get on the board. 13-7 is your score at halftime. I am intrigued to see who scored the touchdown. A 1-yard rushing touchdown for Drico and Kang. Let's move on through the third. Jets make it a bit of a closer game. We respond with a field goal. It's 16-10. Neither team's offense exactly dominating. I believe we just got another field goal. It's Jake Elliott making it a 9-point game. Much closer than I would prefer, as we just absolutely shut down their offense there in pretty quick order, and they return the favor. Still 11 minutes remaining. Neither team able to get it going until the Jets do right there. Ended up being a 5-yard touchdown pass to Malcolm Goodwin. It is a 2-point game with just under 9 minutes remaining. We are forced to punt yet again. 2-point game. They're starting from their 4, and we force them to punt as well. So, again, both teams really struggling for the most part. We're able to get on the board, though. A beautiful punt leads to a quick drive for the Jets, and that was enough. They start on their own 4. It was a 3-and-out. And from there, a 32-yard pass to Kareem Hunt. They took a penalty, 3-yard pass to Keaston Savage, and a 2-yard touchdown pass for London Charles. It's 26-17 with 2:41 remaining. Will that do it? Yes, it will. They cannot convert on 4th down. That is the ball game. 26-17 is your final. Again, no crazy final drives, nothing. I mean, we scored with under 3 minutes left, I do believe. But quick and easy, to the point, we get another victory, and we remain, everyone else, undefeated to start the year. Very, very good. Now, Hanson Erickson, unfortunately, didn't have that strong of a game. 19 of 34, 195 yards with a touchdown. Kareem Hunt took over, though, 135 yards, and Kang with a rushing touchdown. Receiving-wise, Charles led the way with 5 receptions. Kawangio led in yardage. Charles, of course, with the receiving touchdown. Grant Stemke got ripped apart on the O-line, but everyone else held up. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson led the way defensively. Quite a few sacks in this game, too. A rough day at the office for the Dolphins quarterback. No picks. Elliott, 4 of 5 for the field goals in this game. And again, the undefeated start. I was going to say the undefeated run, the undefeated streak, the undefeated stretch. We're undefeated. We're 3-0. Yes, we have a long way to go, but I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. If we could get to the deadline in this episode, that would be great, because that would really leave us the option with what to do in terms of a certain backup quarterback, as Kilo Folston's looking pretty damn good. Charles Kading, I think I'm going to avoid. Again, like Merritt, finesse moves, tackle, hit power, that's not bad, but I need to see those B grades. I need to see those B grades. Unlike my parents from when I was in high school, you know what? I'll settle for a B. We don't need A's. I'll settle for a B. And unfortunately, there's really only one right end that I'm intrigued by, and that's Kilo Folston. As far as defensive tackles go, Nate Davis. Wow, this might not exactly be the best draft for defensive linemen. Wow, this is brutal. So let's see. There were 3 left ends, 1 right end, and so far not a single tackle that I've been interested in, even though the guy's name is Fillmore. That's the only reason I would be intrigued. As we get our other game against the Dolphins out of the way. Let's go down to Miami and see if we can keep this hot start to the season going. We have a 12 overall point advantage. I feel like someone on their team must have been injured because I could have sworn they were a 76 rated team previously. So we're fighting for that perfect 4-0 start. Marshawn Lattimore off to a great start. Has already forced 2 fumbles this season. Kareem Hunt, bit of a slow start in terms of touchdowns, but still we know what he is capable of. Micah Hyde doing well. Our veteran presence at safety. And again, I felt a little bit better about him. The fact that he's already over 30 and hasn't faced that dramatic drop-off, again, compared to Devontae Adams, who hit 30 and bam, fell off. Eric Ebron hit 30, started to fall off. Ryan Shazier scared me off a little bit. But if it's somebody like Micah Hyde, then yeah, they're going nowhere. They're staying. I just can't see that dramatic of a drop-off as we strike first. It's 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. It ended up being a 2-yard rushing touchdown for one Kareem Hunt. Let's see what happens here as we go to halftime. Dolphins tie it up. We respond with a field goal, 10-7. Miami ties it at 10 apiece. And that is your score at halftime. A much closer game than I would have preferred. We start off the second half with a touchdown. Miami with a safety. It's 17-12. Not what I would have expected. Solid drive. Capped off with a 4-yard touchdown pass to London Charles. And one play. Started on the 2, and Kang knocked back into the end zone. 17-12 as we begin the fourth quarter. Miami starts off with a touchdown. They take a 1-point lead. It was Alex Collins with a 2-yard touchdown pass. The 2-point conversion failed. We are trailing for the first time in the fourth quarter all season. I do believe, and Miami will have a good chance here to add to their lead. They cannot. 9:41 remaining. We need to strike here, and we do. 23-18 with 6.5 minutes to go. 13-yard touchdown pass to Kareem Hunt. Can the Dolphins get anything going? Yes, they can. 2 gigantic running plays. Actually, never mind. They were passing plays. 24 yards to Kenny Stills and then 51 yards to Kenny Stills for the touchdown. It's a 3-point Miami lead. Let's see what we can do. First down, the play is away. 2nd and 10. Erickson sacked. 3rd and 16. Is that a first down or is it 4th and inches? It is a first down. Let's see if we can keep this drive going. Erickson throws it away on first down yet again. 2nd and 10. 9 yards for Morris Pittman. Well done. 3rd and 1. We get the first down with Hunt. The drive continues. Can we get into range at the very least? 19 yards. Morris Pittman. Maybe he is good enough to be a number 1 for this season. 3:04 remaining. What can we do here on first down? Erickson throws it away, but of course we're in field goal range. A tie is very much possible. 2nd and 10. That's bad. Warren Leckie. It'll be 2nd and 20 here from the 43. Erickson sacked. 3rd and 27 from our own 49. We need a big yardage play here. We get 13 yards for Savage. Are we going to go for it or are we going to settle for a field goal? I think we are in field goal range. Are we? 2-minute warning. This is scary. We're going for the field goal. Can Jake Elliott hit this to tie the game? Elliott, we need this desperately. Kick is up. Swinton on the hold. And it is no good. Jake Elliott cannot hit it. And we are in danger of losing our first game as the road against division rivals continues to be a very dangerous place. We do have all 3 timeouts. We have a chance to get back into this, but we need a stop. Collins with a 4-yard rush to kick things off. 2nd and 6, and Collins gets the first down. That's it. 3rd and inches. We have a chance. Can we get the stop here? Big play, and it's over. It is over. Jake Elliott, unfortunately, misses the field goal, and the Dolphins survive a bit of a slugfest. The team's trading the lead. They end up getting the win 26-23 and handing us our first loss of the season. Erickson, 24 of 36, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Rushing-wise, Hunt over 100 yards with a touchdown as well. Receiving-wise, 6 receptions for Charles and Pittman. Pittman led the way in terms of yardage. Hunt and Charles with touchdowns. Offensive line was ripped apart in that game. 6 sacks allowed. Defensively, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson led the way. Not much in terms of pressure on their quarterback. No picks. And then Jake Elliott, unfortunately, missed the field goal that could have potentially sent us to overtime. Instead, we are handed our first L of the season, as Stevenson might make it up to a 90. And I'm tempted to maybe change things around on the offensive lines, make him better as a run stopper, and there you go. Idris Stevenson up to a 90 overall. Say what you want about that secondary trade with Green Bay, but at least we got an absolute monster back in return. Do we have another upgrade point? Nope, he was it. All right, let's move on. Week 5 against San Diego. In terms of negotiations, it's going to be Brenton Weeks. We'll see if we can get him signed up long term. That's still not a bad deal. Is he willing to sign it? No, he wants a bit of a raise. And Kang and Lucas Knott might be on the way out, depending on asking price. So let's take a look at our final few players on the defensive line, hopefully. Defensive tackle, do we have anybody here that I'm interested in? Culver started off well. Labinjo started off well too, just wasted a point there, unfortunately. I'm sorry, man, but I'm just not feeling it. Oh my god. You know, I'm just going to go under the assumption that all these 6th round guys are going to be terrible. So in terms of defensive tackles, there's not a single one I'm interested in. I got to be honest. And normally, again, when there's that many players that are projected for the 6th round, they typically all end up being garbage. So yeah, considering I've already wasted some points accidentally, not exactly in the mood to waste others. So we might as well look to hire a linebacker-centric scout, of which there are none. What about defensive backs? We'll sign Eugene Compton. And we'll take a look and have to spend those extra points looking at linebackers. So we'll definitely have to be a bit more careful here. But the number 1 guy, Bradley Abraham. Looking pretty good. He was the number 1 guy on the board. For good reason. Nate Leonard, also looking pretty good, and we'll continue to scout them out from there. But of course, they will require those extra points. And with that, we're good to go. We'll keep the team the same for the moment. Again, still an 87 rating. Playing the 2-2 Chargers. Let's see what we can do. We have a 7 overall point advantage, but as we just witnessed against Miami, that doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. We could be back down to it. Well, actually, in fairness, when we were in the 70s in the first season or two, we didn't do that well. Funny how that works. Then again, it's not as if we went 0-16, but you get the point. Kareem Hunt, over 400 yards on the season with 2 touchdowns. Looking for another big game from him. And as we approach the deadline, the big question, of course, will be whether or not we trade our current backup quarterback. I mean, Hanson Erickson's been pretty solid to start the year. I don't know if we want to turn over the keys to the team midway through a season, but it might not be the worst idea. That's our major decision, is what to do at quarterback, as we have a 7-0 lead to begin the game. 42-yard rushing touchdown for Kareem Hunt. That's what he does. Makes it 14-0. Chargers back on the board, 14-7. 21-7 is your score at halftime. Ended up being a 2-yard touchdown pass to tight end Morris Pittman. And from there, let's see, Bortles ended up with a touchdown. And we responded later. I was going to say not immediately, but we responded with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Kareem Hunt. Let's go through the third. Can we add to the lead? 21-14. Chargers get the only touchdown, the only points of the third. We respond, though, quickly with a 52-yard touchdown pass to Kareem Hunt. So Hunt is going off in this game like we needed him to. We have them doubled up 28-14. Let's see, though. We got a long way to go as they fail on fourth down. We take over from the 46. And points here would do it. 31-14 with 9.5 to go. We should be okay. One would hope. Let's go change of possession. 31-17. They settle for a 45-yard field goal. That's only going to help them so much with 7 minutes left. We are forced to punt. We took 3 minutes off the clock. 2.5. Let's see. Can the defense hold on? And a quick turnover. Micah Hyde with the pick. We'll start from the 7. That should be game. There you go. 38-17. Micah Hyde ends it. 7-yard touchdown pass to London Charles. And this game is very much over. The Chargers with a late touchdown. They make it 38-24. That is your final score. Thankfully, though, no controversy this time out. Thanks to one Micah Hyde. Bortles and the Chargers fall short. And we get back in the win column after a slip-up in Miami. Hanson Erickson fighting for his job and doing quite well. 20 of 27, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Kareem Hunt, 137 yards rushing with a touchdown. And no carries for Jericho and Kang this game. Receiving-wise, Charles and Savage, 5 receptions each. Hunt, though, with 93 yards of total receiving yards, not of total offense. Of course, total offense-wise, he was phenomenal. Averaged 23 yards per reception. 2 touchdowns for him. Charles and Pittman, of course, with touchdowns as well. Blocking-wise, only 1 sack allowed. A much better performance. Micah Hyde and Eatrice Stevenson killed it defensively. Only 1 sack in this game, but 2 interceptions for Micah Hyde. And Jake Elliott hit the only field goal that we required of him. I'm not going to blame him for the loss of Miami. That was a pretty rough kick. There was the sack there as well, I think, on second down. It just didn't go our way. As Chauncey has an upgrade point, we're going to make him better as a power rusher. That's not going to get him to a 90, but we will get at least a boost. Plus 3 power moves. I'll take that. I'm not too worried about the overall. I'm more worried about having a more well-rounded player in that spot. So we get to the bye week in week 6. I don't know if we'll sim the game against Kansas City, as Hunt and Hyde were the AFC offensive and defensive players of the week, respectively. We do have an injury decision. Tre'Davious White is back, which, in fairness, let's just have Mike Hilton stay there for now. He should be back and ready for this next game. So, it'd be nice to have him back. Brenton Weeks wants a little bit more money, and a little bit more money he will get. He is one of our stars on the O-line. There we go. Big Brenton back again. Back again. A little bit more time. You're not leaving Buffalo just yet. Let's take a look at the linebackers. Bradford Corliss, no thank you. Gordon Richards, no thank you. Travis Moore, wasted points accidentally. I know he's listed as a second-round talent, but to me, that doesn't mean he's good. To me, that means this is going to be a terrible draft, and it certainly looks like it, at least on the defensive side of things. Again, only 2 linebackers that I'm interested in. This could be a draft, certainly, where we trade up, and this could be a draft where we trade away a lot of later round picks. There might not be as much talent there as one would hope. Jericho, hate to tell you, buddy, but I think this is your last year here. You've been a very loyal servant to this team. Depends on how much you're looking for. That's a tough one. We'll talk to Nkang and not at the end of the season. Those are the type of deals that we can afford to wait on. And we'll go back to the scouting here and continue to look at middle linebackers. So, Keelan Goodwell, listed as a third-round talent, but he has attributes that I'm interested in, so we'll still mark him down. Mahoney, unfortunately not. Derek Beckwith, I don't mind for a late-round depth option at linebacker. He could be good as well. There we go. Langford Roth. Good hit power, pursuit, and tackling. Listed as a third-round talent. Davion Frederick as well. Okay, so there's some good depth options here. Ross Peters as a zone coverage option actually might not be that bad. Good tackling, good pursuit, good zone coverage. You know, I like that actually. What I'll do more than likely is take another look. But I do like to see the B grades across the board. Like with Mahoney, tackling, pursuit, block, shedding. In fairness, it's not too bad. He is a 4th-round talent. But as it is, it's not like I'm missing out on someone great. Now, you did have some 1st-round talents that I didn't mark down. In fairness, like Lewis Arnold's one where it's like tackle, block, shedding, hit power. Really just not a big fan of that. But Peters is interesting to me because of the zone coverage more than anything. But I doubt he's someone that I take. And you know what? For now, I'm going to take him off the board because there are other more interesting options to me at middle linebacker that we could take in that draft. So the big thing here, Tre'Davious White is 100% healthy, which what a boost that is to our defense. But what I want to see right now is how we're looking. Hanson Erickson, you're the man I want to look at here in terms of stats. 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. Almost at 1,300 yards, 68% completion percentage. Is Hanson Erickson the guy for us? He's 23 years old, star development, 80 overall. Do we keep him? I think we have to. Now, Deshaun Swinton, we don't have to trade yet, but there's a very good chance of him also developing into a star. He's 2 years younger, 2 overall points weaker. He is an interesting case where we could hold on to him now, or we could look to maybe get an upgrade at a certain spot, which again, when looking at this team, running back, we're set, right? We're fine. Wide receiver-wise, you could argue another game changer would be good, but I want to give Keaston Savage that chance to develop, especially at 22. So wide receiver-wise, we're fine. Tight end-wise, you could argue getting another threat to work with Morris Pittman would be the right idea. So getting a tight end addition would be solid. The O-line, we're still good. The lowest overall guys, Dieter at a 79, we're set. Defensive line, Keaho going to continue to develop. Malcolm Worrell has normal development. So another member of the defensive line. Unfortunately, Worrell started off with half-decent development and it did drop. So another member of the defensive line could help. Joe Jackson's also dropped off a bit. So tight end, defensive line help. Linebacker-wise, we're fine. And as it is, we can't even play Riley and Harvey as much as I'd like. That's really it. Finding another defensive end and bringing in a tight end. That would be the move. So if you think we should trade Swinton before the deadline, those would be the 2 areas where we look to improve. Or we just hold on to Swinton until the draft and maybe make the most of him then and there. As far as teams that have green interest, the Chargers, which I'm not really interested in trading him within the AFC. I gotta be honest, I really don't want that to come back to haunt me. If we're gonna have to deal with him, I'd rather deal with him in a Super Bowl. As we look here, the Lions, Dallas Goedert, and Reed Neris. Not really interested. No major game changer there. Green Bay, as if we haven't made enough trades. Jesus, Clark would be ridiculous. At tight end, they have Caleb Wilson, who would be great. Oh my God. So that would be nice. Who do you have on the defensive line? Campbell, but he's 36. Clark, but he's way too expensive and just too damn good. Okay, so we couldn't really get the defensive help that we were looking for there, but there is a tight end option who could be ridiculous. In fairness, we could bring in Campbell. He's a veteran who might retire. He'd be a rental. The big move there would be getting Caleb Wilson. I'm surprised they have as much interest when they have David Schmidt, and it's technically not in their top 5 team needs. I'm a little bit surprised at that. Let's take a look. Washington. Who do the Redskins have for us? Jordan Reed, he's 33 though. Kawan Byram? Quick development at 22. Alright, do you have anybody on the defensive line? So Green Bay would work. And Deron Payne could work. Okay, so Washington, Green Bay. I'd say Washington might be the favorite just for the fact that they have that defensive line help that we're looking for more so than the Packers. And the Saints also have green interest. Eric Ebron, Jasecki, yeah, that's not that's not going to happen. Anybody else, or is that it? That is it. So if it was up to me, I think we'd probably explore a potential deal with Washington, mainly surrounding Byram, who could turn into something special, a legitimate tight end. And, I mean, the blocking's up there as well. Aggressive catch, possession catch, fight for yards, good stuff. And then on the defensive side of things, it would be Daron Payne, 26 years old at this point. Pretty damn solid. Pretty damn solid trade option. Or we could wait until the draft. So let me know, considering as well that Hanson Ericsson's been off to a great start, and we're 4-1 to begin this season. Let me know what you think. Is that a trade that we make to improve the team? I got to know. Aside from that, we are pretty much good to go, as in the next episode, we will continue on with the season sim. The one downside, cap room's a little bit tight, but we should be able to make it work. And keep in mind, draft pick-wise as well, a couple of depth options. If we do wait until the draft, it's not as if we won't have the ability to move up regardless. So as always, I thank you guys for watching and supporting this series. I'm still having a lot of fun with this, and again, it's going nowhere. I am damn well determined to win with this team before we contemplate starting a second or, a new series here with Madden. Again, I don't plan on having Madden go anywhere. It's a staple of the channel at this point, but we have a long way to go. But who knows? Maybe this season is the season. For now, that'll do it. Thank you for watching. And again, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.